Good friend Cara Capuano was here with us. How you doing, Cara? Oh, I'm doing great. I can't wait for these games to get started. It's going to be a really wonderful year in the women's game. It sure is. Well, Cara, my first question, obviously, everyone knows about the situation with Middle Tennessee and Stewart and how they're kind of the feel-good story of this NCAA tournament, obviously, with her passing. Talk a little bit about that. It's kind of hard because not only do you have to cover that and it's a major story, but you also can't lose sight of the other teams that are there that are quality teams as well. Talk about just the overall balance of having to cover both of those situations. Well, obviously, it's a situation surrounding Middle Tennessee that is both, thank God, unique, but also especially tragic. And I just look forward to having a chance to chat more with Coach Insel. I did talk to him on Tuesday during our women's tournament special on ESPNU. We're looking forward tomorrow to talking a little bit more with him to find out how they've helped the teammates, grapple with the grief of losing Tina Stewart so shortly before the conference tournament began. Obviously, they didn't have the showing in the Sun Belt tournament that they wanted to have, but they valiantly played in honor of their teammate. And like you said, Nick, it was certainly a moment of elation for a group of young women that have suffered through some tremendous grief when they found out that their regular season performance, conference tournament notwithstanding, was enough to earn them an at-large bid. I know that they're all focused and excited. Coach Insel said that after being into the selection show on Monday, they had an outstanding practice on Monday afternoon. They had gone back for spring break, been with their families, and had the chance to emotionally regroup. And he said he promised us that we're going to see a very different team on the court in Middle Tennessee. And I'm just looking forward to celebrating with them the fact that they earned an at-large bid. It's very hard to do as women's basketball increases in parity every year, especially at their level of competition.
Well, Cara, in that region, you have Georgia playing Middle Tennessee State, and the other game is Florida State against Sanford. Sanford out of Birmingham, of course. How do you think those games will fare? Obviously, Georgia and Florida State are pretty good teams. I'm actually thinking Florida State should win this region. What are your thoughts on these four teams?
Well, Florida State is the 3 seed in this site, so yes, for all intents and purposes, if you're a 3 seed and can't walk away from a 6-11-14 site, then you didn't deserve the 3 seed. I definitely think the Seminoles are favored. They were very competitive in the ACC this year, and frankly, they're huge. Their lineup, Sierra Brevard, they have some players that are just going to be a handful for the 3 other teams who, in comparison, are undersized. But what intrigues me about the Florida State-Sanford matchup is that these are 2 teams that get it done in very different ways. Sanford's one of the best free throw shooting teams in the nation. They are one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the nation, whereas Florida State is a more standard, inside out, get it down to the post, kick it out to the guards type of a team. So in contrast to play, Florida State versus Sanford is very different. Georgia, Middle Tennessee, standard of play-wise, they're a lot more comparable. Georgia, though, is an SEC team that was in second place all season and kind of stumbled to the finish. So they did have a great conference tournament game against South Carolina, but they basically got blown out against the Tennessee Lady Vols. And we'll see if the Lady Bulldogs can regroup. I'm also really looking forward to, for this region specifically, seeing how many fans travel in. Because obviously Auburn is the host, but the Auburn Tigers women's team is playing in the WNIT. Athens is not far from Auburn. Murfreesboro is not far as the Middle Tennessee fans. This is a group that desperately wants to support these girls as they continue to deal with the emotional hardship off court, trying to succeed on court. Really, Tallahassee isn't that far away. And then, of course, Sanford's right up the road in Birmingham. So for a truly neutral site, I think we're going to get a great complement mixture of fans. And that's what I'm most excited to see, the kind of support that we get for these 4 teams who are going to try so hard to advance out of this site.
Well, Cara, you brought up the WNIT. After the bracket was released Sunday evening for the women's tournament, I started getting press releases regarding the WNIT and also the WBI, the Women's Basketball Invitational. Of course, not many people know that it's a field of 64 for the WNIT and a field of 16 for the WBI. Talk about that. Do you think maybe like even on a men's the men's NIT bracket, maybe they should expand to 64 teams and just do away with the CIT or the CBI, because I think the women's have it right. I like this field of 64 on the WNIT side.
You know, honestly, Dan, the decision-making process that goes into deciding what's right for the men's game and what's right for the women's game oftentimes is so contrasting and different. I can't really speak to that. I mean, you know, a lot of men's teams have the same viewpoint as the LSU women did. I'm sure you guys know the LSU Lady Tigers, a run of 12 straight NCAA tournaments. They were playing to get to the NCAA tournament, and when they didn't, they said before the bids were even released that they were going to decline the WNIT. I think that in the men's game, there's a high pride factor to that end. And so if they expanded the NIT field to 64, would there be more teams, you know, with a similar viewpoint? I don't really know. I mean, at the end of the day, both platforms for the women's game, as far as the women's NCAA and the WNIT, are great opportunities to reward these teams for playing so hard during the regular season. I was impressed and, you know, excited to see that 5 Southeastern Conference teams had accepted bids into the WNIT, because it was, for all intents and purposes, a down year in the SEC on a national platform. But the first 4 women's teams in the WNIT have opened 4-0, and then Florida plays Friday night. So, you know, there's a good opportunity for the SEC to have success in WNIT and those young teams to use that as a platform when maybe next year, if they get to the NCAA tournament, to have success. And I think that at the end of the day, playing in the postseason is a reward for the players. Having success in the postseason lays a great foundation for both next year's team and future recruits.
Well,
brought up a point here about the seeding in the region that you're in with Auburn, in that region. It would seem to me as though because Middle Tennessee did not win their conference tournament and because they're from a smaller league, in terms of perception, that they may have been underseeded somewhat. Talk about that, because I know that you did have a great season. Is it a lot like the men's game, you think, where sometimes when the smaller conferences don't win their conference tournament, that maybe their seeds are undervalued, I guess you could say, and perhaps Middle Tennessee could make a historic run this weekend?
Well, I think, Dan, that you're overlooking the fact that it's different in the women's game. A lot more precedent and importance is placed on regionalization. And we saw that this year in the women's bracket affecting some of the top-tier, highest seeds. If you look at the Spokane region, where Stanford is the 1 seed and UCLA is the 3, these are 2 teams that have already played 3 times, with the Cardinal winning all 3. Similarly, in the Dallas region, you've got Baylor, the 1 seed, Texas A&M, the 2. Again, 2 teams that have already played 3 times, and Baylor has won each of those games. So in the women's game this year, there was a lot more interest, I guess, in what happened to some of the higher seeded teams, where they might have to run into familiar nemesis that they've already lost to, versus kind of that next year, you know, mid-major conference level. A lot of those decisions, once you get past the first 4 seeds, a lot of the decisions are made based on, is this travel that's viable for the team? Is it travel that's viable for its fans? So Middle Tennessee, being an 11th seed, might have more to do with the distance between their home and Auburn than anything to do with their performance during the year. Once you get to the lower seeds, I think in the women's tournament, it doesn't have that same impact of, boy, we really got hosed here, or wow, we were really rewarded here. There's a lot of different influencing factors as far as the women's tournament selection committee has to deal with.
well, you brought up the familiar teams aspects. In the Knoxville region, where I'll be attending tomorrow's game, Tennessee and Stetson will play first game, and then Marquette and Texas. Texas, of course, they usually play Tennessee year in and year out. Bit of a down season for the Lady Longhorns. Talk about possible Texas-Tennessee second-round matchup. Do you think there's anything added to the fire for Texas and make it close, or do you think the Lady Vols will continue their what they've been on a roll for since I guess November, late November, early December?
Well, first of all, Dan, I don't think you should overlook the 8 seed Marquette in that Marquette-Texas matchup. You know, interesting question by Nick about Middle Tennessee Tennessee being 11th seed, a lot of eyebrows were raised for Texas getting a 9 seed. There were a lot of pundits that didn't think that Texas was going to make the field this year. Gail Gesticourt is a Hall of Fame coach who's had such success in the postseason. You know, her team, as far as the rest of the big teams in the Big 12, did not have the year that it expected to have. So, regardless of who Tennessee faces in that matchup of the 8-9 winner, and frankly, even in the next matchup, I think that there's a reason that the 4 number 1 seeds in the women's game are number 1 seeds this year. They're far superior. They're dominant. All of the experts have pretty much the 4 number 1 seeds getting all the way to Indianapolis, including but not limited to President Obama. So, you know, I just think that the Lady Vols, Connecticut Huskies, Baylor Lady Bears, Stanford Cardinal, the only way those 4 teams don't get to Indy is if they beat themselves somewhere along the way. They play their brand of basketball and play it well. Those 4 teams are truly superior this year.
Well, speaking of the 4 number 1 seeds, I have UConn, Tennessee, Stanford, and Baylor reaching the Final Four in Indianapolis, with Connecticut beating Baylor in the championship. What do you have, Nick?
I have the 4 number 1 seed. Also, not to be all boring and redundant, but I think we've all got it figured out this year. I have the Stanford Cardinal winning the championship. I think Laura Vanderbilt team has been the best team all year, and I really think they proved it when they had to win over UConn. And even though UConn is still the top of the mountain in women's basketball, I think this year we're going to find out the Stanford Cardinals are at the top of the class. And I'd be interested to get Kara's take. I know Kara is with the San Diego, so she's a West Coast girl. I'd like to hear her opinion about Stanford also.
Well, Nick, I went to UC San Diego, which at the time that I was matriculating was Division III. I wish I could say that I went to San Diego State and saw a bunch of Division I hoops when I was a college student, but I actually spent most of my time watching Division I hoops at various Pac-10 schools. Stanford was not in that group, but I do agree with you that Stanford, to me, is a superior team this year. And, you know, in the women's game, a lot of it is experience. It's been there, done that, and it's upperclassmen leadership. And obviously Stanford, with the run of Final Fours, that basically these same players have had together as a group. They have been there before. They know what it's going to take, and they're all 1 year better. Connecticut does have Maya Moore. She is an exceptional player. Baylor has Brittany Griner. She is an exceptional athlete. But I'm with you. I think that Stanford gets to the final game. I think that Tennessee gets to the final game. And again, I'm leaning on my factor of upperclassmen experience. All those young women that were there for that first round loss, they're juniors now. They've got the senior Angie Bjorklund on their side. They've got the fab freshman Megan Simmons. They've got a great balance. Stanford, though, they're going to be tough to beat. I mean, anytime 3 young women in the starting 5 are on the final ballot for the John Wooden Award, they're obviously full and stocked with stars. And that's how I see the Stanford Cardinal. I think that Tara Vanderveer versus Pat Summitt, a rematch of a regular season game that went to overtime at Thompson Bowling Arena, I think it would be an absolute chess match with 2 Hall of Fame coaches and 20 of the best young women playing the women's game right now. I think it would be an amazing championship game in Indianapolis.
You know, Kara, my Final Four, and everybody talks about Maya Moore, but to me, Jeanette Poland has had one of the best seasons of any women's basketball player. I know that she doesn't play for Connecticut. I know that, you know, obviously that there's other factors there. But to me, Jeanette Poland is a constant floor leader, team leader, and she just gets the job done. I really love that.
Well, one last thing, Kara. With UConn possibly playing the Lady Vols in the Elite Eight, do you think this game will allow maybe future games between these 2 schools again in the regular season?
Well, UConn and Tennessee would actually meet in the Final Four.
I'm sorry, Final Four, yes.
Number 1 seeds, yeah. No, honestly, I don't, Dan. I think that Coach Summitt has gone on record about her interest in playing Connecticut in the regular season and not being interested in it anymore. And I think that to a certain extent, that makes the possibility of those 2 coaches and those 2, you know, historical women's teams meeting in the Final Four that much more exciting.
Kara, we appreciate the time this afternoon. I mean, you give a perspective of the women's game that, quite frankly, unmatched. I think you do a terrific a good job, and we're proud to know you here at Sports Times Network.
Oh, thanks, Nick. I really appreciate that. And I love that you guys filled out women's brackets and that you're looking forward to the games this weekend. Dan, I wouldn't give my spot up in Auburn for anything, but I wish I could be in two places at one time and join you as well in Knoxville because you're going to have a great weekend of women's basketball,
I
too.
just want to throw in real quick that Alabama made the WNIT and won their first round game last night, so I got to give a plug for my alma mater there. But they're building a program, and hopefully they'll keep it going. But it's certainly to me, it's competition. Whether it's the men's tournament or women's tournament, to me, it's nothing better than tournament basketball. And knowing that each play can be the final one.
Hey, and also the UAB Lady Blazers in the CBI against Central Arkansas. Congratulations.